The trial of Zaratha Hall was silent. The air felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. Hundreds of glowing eyes watched from the shadows. In the center, under a cold blue light, stood Zara, tall, graceful, but chained. Her skin shimmered, slightly, like silver under moonlight. Her long white hair fell across her face, hiding the bruise on her cheek. She didn't look afraid. But inside, her heart was breaking. "Zara of the Miralan race," spoke the High Judge, voice sharp like metal. "You stand accused of the greatest crime. You fell in love with a human." A low gasp spread through the alien crowd. Zara raised her eyes. They were soft, sad, but not ashamed. "Yes," she said calmly. "I did." "And you helped him escape from the war zone. You protected him. You betrayed your people," the judge continued. Zara said nothing. A screen lit up behind her. It showed a memory, a battlefield, burning skies, alien ships falling, humans screaming. And there, a human, soldier injured, crawling across the ground, Zara standing above him, the enemy. But instead of killing him, she dropped her weapon and helped him stand. His name was Jack. Zara remembered his eyes, full of fear, then surprise, then something else. Trust. They ran that day. Together. Now she was here. "You knew the rules," another judge said. "No contact with humans. No emotion. And you, loved one?" Zara closed her eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "Then there is only one punishment," the High Judge declared. "You will be erased. Your mind, your body, your memories, all removed from time, as if you never existed." No one spoke, not even Zara. But deep in the crowd, someone was watching. Someone not supposed to be there. In a small dark room far from the court chamber, a figure in a black suit tapped on a glowing screen. "I found her," he whispered. His name was Jack. He was not supposed to be alive. He had disappeared months ago. Many believed he died. But he had been searching, fighting, just to reach this place. Now he had only one goal: save Zara. Back in the hall, the trial was ending. The chains on Zara's hands glowed bright. Machines began to hum. Her body shook slightly. The process had started. Her memories, her thoughts, slowly being pulled from her mind. Zara fell to her knees. One last tear rolled down her cheek. "I'm sorry, Jack," she thought. Suddenly, the lights exploded. Sirens screamed. A shockwave hit the hall, throwing judges to the floor. Zara looked up, dazed. The chains on her hands snapped. A deep voice echoed through the hall's speaker. "This is a rescue. If you want to live, run." Zara didn't move, but something inside her sparked, a memory. Jack's face, his voice. "I'll never let them take you, I swear." Zara stood. She ran. Blasts hit the walls around her. Alien guards shouted, chasing her. But she didn't stop. She didn't look back. Somewhere, Jack was close. Somewhere, he was fighting for her. In a control room above, the High Judge stared at the screen. "Who helped her?" he demanded. An officer replied, trembling. "We don't know, but it's human tech." The judge's eyes narrowed. "Then he's alive." Zara reached a dark hallway, breathing hard. She placed her hand on a locked door. It scanned her palm. A soft green light flashed. Open. She stepped inside, but someone was waiting. A tall, armored alien. A guardian. His eyes burned with anger. "You will not leave," he growled. Zara backed away. She had no weapon, no plan, just one thought in her mind. "I have to survive." For Jack. The guardian stepped forward, and then the screen went black. Jack's mission space was quiet. Too quiet. The stars blinked like cold eyes, watching everything from far away. Between those stars, a small ship floated alone, dark, damaged, and hidden. Inside, a man stood in front of a glowing map. His eyes were tired but sharp. His hands were rough. He had not rested in days. His name was Jack, and he had come back from the dead. The Miralan Empire thought they had won. They believed Jack was gone, lost in the war, buried under ash and fire. They were wrong. Jack had survived. He had crawled out of the ruins, broken bones, bleeding, angry, but most of all, burning with one goal: find Zara. He had searched every star system, paid pirates for information, hacked military satellites, crossed borders where no human had ever gone. And now, after months of running, hiding, fighting, he had found her, or what was left of her. A few hours ago, he saw the trial. A secret hacker, half machine, half man, had stolen footage from the Miralan court. Jack watched it alone in silence. He saw Zara in chains. He saw her punished for loving him. He saw her fall, and he saw her rise again. His heart cracked, but it also hardened. They took her. Now I'll take everything from them. Jack turned to a small case on the table. He opened it slowly. Inside was a weapon unlike any other. It looked alien, sharp and silver, with glowing blue veins. It hummed softly when touched. Zara had given it to him once, a piece of her people's ancient tech. Only use this if there's no other way, she had told him. Now he had no other way. She's still inside their prison ship, said a voice behind him. Jack turned. A woman stood, in the shadows, tall with eyes like mirrors. She was not fully human. She had metal veins running through her neck and arms. You sure she's alive, Kessa? Jack asked. The woman nodded. She's alive, but not for long. Then we go tonight. As they prepared, Jack remembered how it all started. The war had been endless. Humans and Miralan fighting over a dying planet. Jack was just another soldier, until he got injured on the battlefield. He thought he would die. But Zara found him. She didn't kill him. She healed him, fed him, hid him, and as days passed, they talked, they laughed. They looked at the stars. He had never believed in love, until her. Now, that love had made him a target, and her, a prisoner. On the prison ship orbiting planet Virex 9, Zara sat inside a small dark room. Her memories were scattered. Her body felt cold, weak. But her heart still beat strong. She touched the pendant Jack had once given her. Somehow, it had not been removed. He's coming, she whispered, and far away in space. Jack was already near. But the Miralan Empire knew. They had picked up a signal. A human ship is approaching, said the guard captain. Should we destroy it? The High Judge appeared on the screen. No, let it come. If it is Jack, we'll let her watch him die. As Jack's ship approached the prison, a silent alarm triggered. Defense guns turned, shields activated. Jack smiled. They're waiting, he said. You're still going in? Kessa asked. Yes. You'll die. Jack looked at her with steel in his eyes. Not before I see her again. They launched a decoy, a fake ship. The real one went, cloaked, sliding through the shadows of space. It entered the station's dark underbelly. Jack and Kessa moved fast using old maps and broken paths. They passed dead halls, broken labs, empty cages, until they reached level 17, the memory room, and what they saw made Jack freeze. Dozens of tubes, floating bodies, alien prisoners, and Zara's clone, half-finished, in one of the tubes. They were trying to copy her, to make weapons from her blood. Jack's anger burned hot. They're not just killing her, he said. They're trying to become her, a voice rang out from the wall speakers. Welcome, Jack. It was the High Judge. You love her so much? Come and save her. We'll be waiting. Jack knew it was a trap, but he had come too far. He turned to Kessa. Get the backup ship ready. If I don't make it, don't say that. Then, blow the station. Understood. Jack moved alone toward the core cell. Gun in one hand, pendant in the other. Behind a thick glass door, Zara lay on the ground, chained again. "Zara," he whispered. Her eyes opened. She saw him. But something was wrong. She didn't smile. She didn't move. Her eyes were empty. Like her soul had been taken. "Zara," he said louder. "Jack," she replied. But her voice was cold. Robotic. They did something to her, Jack realized. And then, behind him, heavy footsteps. A Moralan guardian stepped out of the shadows. Giant. Armored. Weapon in hand. "You should not have come," it growled. Jack raised his gun, but the guardian just smiled. "You came to save her," it said. "But what if she's already gone?" The escape Jack didn't blink. The Moralan guardian towered over him, glowing armor pulsing with energy. Its voice echoed through the narrow chamber like thunder. "You came too late." Jack tightened his grip on his weapon, but he didn't shoot. His eyes were locked on Zara, still on the floor, still silent, staring through the glass like she didn't know him. She looked empty, like someone had taken the light out of her. "What did you do to her?" Jack growled. The guardian didn't answer. Instead, it raised its staff and slammed it to the ground. Energy exploded through the floor, and the cell began to seal. Jack had seconds. He turned, aimed, and fired 3 quick shots at the guardian's head. The bullets hit, but bounced off. The creature laughed. "Human weapons are useless here, but—" Jack wasn't finished. He reached into his belt and pulled out the alien blade Zara had given him, the one only he could activate. He pressed his thumb to the hilt. It came alive, glowing, humming, pulsing like a heartbeat. The guardian paused, sensing danger for the first time. Jack moved fast. He slashed, dodged, spun, and struck. The blade cut through the armor like paper. The guardian roared and swung its massive fist, hitting Jack in the side and sending him flying across the chamber. Jack crashed into the wall hard. He coughed blood. But he stood again, limping, bleeding, angry. He looked through the glass at Zara. "I'm not leaving without you," he whispered. Deep inside the prison station, someone watched the fight on a screen. A young alien scientist. Small, nervous, eyes full of regret. His name was Serene. He worked for the Empire, but he never believed in the punishments. He had once studied human emotion. He believed love was real. He believed it was powerful. He had watched Zara's trial. He had seen the look in her eyes. He couldn't forget it. And now, he had seen Jack fight for her. Serene stood up. He made a choice. He ran toward the core chamber. Jack barely avoided the next blow. The guardian's staff smashed the floor where he had stood seconds ago. One more hit, and Jack would be dead. Suddenly, the glass wall to Zara's cell opened with a hiss. The door slid wide. Jack froze. Zara stepped out, but not like before. Her eyes were still cold. Her movements strange, robotic. "Zara," Jack whispered. She tilted her head. "Who are you?" she asked. His heart dropped. "Zara, it's me. Jack. You saved me. You loved me." "I do not remember," she replied. The guardian laughed. "She is no longer yours. She belongs to us now." But then, a second voice echoed in the chamber. "No, she doesn't." It was Serene. He ran in, holding a small device. He pressed a button, and Zara froze. Her body shook. Her eyes blinked rapidly. "What are you doing?" Jack yelled. "Restoring her," Serene replied. "They installed a control chip. I'm disabling it." Zara fell to her knees, gripping her head. Memories flashed through her mind. Jack's voice, his smile, the stars they watched together, the night she almost kissed him, but didn't, because she was afraid, because love was forbidden. A tear rolled down her cheek. "Jack," she whispered. And then, her eyes cleared. She stood up, on her own, and turned to the Guardian. "You wanted a weapon," she said. "You made one." Her hands lit with energy, raw, wild power. She moved faster than Jack had ever seen. Her blast hit the Guardian straight in the chest. The monster flew back, crashing into the wall, armor shattered. But it wasn't dead. It stood again, roaring. Zara stepped forward, glowing brighter, but her body trembled. "Stop," Jack said, grabbing her arm. "You'll burn yourself out." "I can finish him. Not like this." "I have to," Saren shouted. "There's another way. The emergency gate. It leads to an escape pod." Jack looked at Zara. "Can you run?" "Only if you're with me." They turned. The Guardian charged one last time. Serene threw down a smoke bomb, a tech from human rebels. The room filled with thick silver fog. They ran. Alarms blared across the station. Guards scrambled. Lights turned red. Zara, Jack, and Seren reached the gate, a small chamber with a round portal. "I've never used this before," Seren said. "That's not comforting," Jack muttered. The Guardian's footsteps thundered behind them. Closer, closer. Zara turned. Her hand sparked, with energy again, but this time, it flickered. She was weakening. Jack pulled her close. "We go together." Saren slammed the escape button. The gate opened. Bright light poured in. They jumped through. A blast shook the walls behind them. The station cracked, and the screen went black. Somewhere, far, far away, a small pod drifted silently in the stars. Inside, Jack opened his eyes. "Zara?" he whispered. She lay beside him, breathing, but barely conscious. Seren checked her pulse. "She's alive, but we need help soon." Jack looked out the window. Empty space. No backup. No base. Just stars. And somewhere out there, the Empire would come for them, because Zara was no longer just a fugitive. She was a threat, and Jack was now enemy number one. Blood between stars. The escape pod drifted in the cold darkness of space. Inside, silence. Zara lay still, her breathing shallow. Her skin, usually glowing faint silver, had faded to a dull gray. Jack sat beside her, one hand holding hers, the other gripping the blade she had given him. He hadn't slept. He couldn't. Not while she looked like this. Seren, the young, alien scientist, tapped on the pod's controls. "We're too far from any friendly systems," he said quietly. "And her body, it's not stable." Jack looked up. "What do you mean?" "Her DNA's changing." Jack frowned. "How?" Saren hesitated. "I think they triggered something inside her, something ancient, something not even the Moralan Council fully understood." Jack's voice turned sharp. "Explain." Saren glanced at Zara's body, then back at Jack. "She's not just Moralan anymore." Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, inside the high chamber of the Empire, the High Judge stood before a massive screen. Data flowed like rivers of light. Readings of Zara's energy, brainwaves, genetic structure, all collected during her capture. "Her powers evolved," a general said, "after contact with the human." "It's not the contact," the judge replied. "It's the connection." He turned to a dark figure standing in the corner, cloaked, silent. "What do you see?" The cloaked figure stepped forward. Its voice was hollow, ancient. "She is not just Miralen now. She is a hybrid. Something new." "A weapon?" the general asked. The figure shook its head. "No. Worse." Inside the pod, Zara finally opened her eyes. She looked at Jack. For a moment she smiled. "You found me," she whispered. "Always," he said. She tried to sit up but winced. Jack helped her. Seren turned toward her. "Zara, what do you remember?" She closed her eyes, slowly breathing. Flashes, light, pain. A voice inside me. Not mine. What did it say? She opened her eyes again, sharper this time. It said, "You are the key." Jack stared at her. "The key to what?" Seren replied before she could. "There's an old legend, from before the Empire. The Miralan believed a child born of two worlds would open the gate of Genesis. The original energy source, a force older than time. Sealed away for good reason. What happens if someone opens it?" Jack asked. Serene's face darkened. "We don't know. Maybe creation, maybe destruction." Jack turned to Zara. "Do you believe this?" Zara looked down at her trembling hands. "I don't know what to believe anymore." A sudden jolt shook the pod. Sirens, flashing red lights. Jack jumped to the controls. "What now?" Serene scanned the radar. "We've been tracked." Zara's eyes narrowed. "They want me back." Jack clenched his jaw. "Then they'll have to come through me." A Miralan war cruiser appeared, massive, silent, and deadly. It moved like a shadow through the stars. Inside, a new commander stepped forward. Female, powerful, scarred. General Kyera. She had history with Zara. She once trained her, and now she had been sent to bring her back, dead or alive. Jack grabbed the emergency thrusters and turned the pod toward a nearby asteroid field. "What are you doing?" Seren shouted. "Hiding. We won't survive the field. They won't either, not if they follow too close." The pod plunged into the asteroid belt, rocks the size of buildings spinning in all directions. Inside the pod, everything shook. Zara gripped her seat, eyes flashing as small surges of energy flickered at her fingertips. "They're pushing me," she said. "I can feel them." Jack looked back. "Don't let them." Outside, the cruiser followed, more carefully. Kara narrowed her eyes. "Don't destroy them. Trap them. We need her alive." Back in the pod, a loud beep rang out. Jack looked at the screen. A warning. DNA surge detected. He turned to Seren. "What now?" Seren's face turned pale. "She's changing again," Zara screamed. Her eyes glowed white, her veins lit up, like rivers of light beneath her skin, and then everything stopped. The pod froze mid-air, time itself. Paused. Jack floated, breathless, confused. Zara stood now, glowing, floating, in the center of the pod. Her voice echoed, but it wasn't her voice. "I see beyond the stars. I remember the first light. I am not Zara. I am the echo of Genesis." Jack stepped forward, shaking. "Zara, come back to me." She looked at him, and something shifted. Her light dimmed, her breath slowed, and she collapsed in his arms. The pod restarted. Alarms stopped. Time moved again. Jack held her tightly. Seren whispered, terrified, "She's not just waking up. Something inside her is waking with her." Far away, the Empire Council watched the energy surge from her body. The screen showed a symbol, unknown, ancient. The High Judge turned to the cloaked figure. "Can we still control her?" The figure whispered, "No. We can only hope she chooses to spare us." Weapon or woman space was never truly silent, not when your mind had stopped being your own. Inside a hidden rebel base carved into the side of a dead moon, Zara lay still in a cold chamber. Wires connected her body to ancient machines. Lights blinked slowly. Some measured her pulse. Others measured something they didn't understand. Power, not the kind that ran through engines or weapons. This power felt alive. It was alive. Jack paced outside the glass chamber. He had been awake for nearly 30 hours. No food, no water, just thoughts. He watched Zara through the glass. Her body was stable, but her mind, her identity, was fractured. Sometimes she called his name. Other times, she spoke in a voice that wasn't hers, a voice that shook the walls, a voice older than the stars. Serene worked quickly at the console. His fingers flew over the keys. Sweat dripped down his forehead. "She's accelerating," he muttered. Jack turned to him. "What does that mean?" "Her DNA is mutating, combining human emotion with ancient Miralan code. She's becoming something we've never seen. Is she still in there? Jack asked. Serene didn't answer. Inside her mind, Zara stood. In a field of black stars, time didn't move here. She floated, her feet never touching the ground. And standing in front of her was herself, another version of Zara, older, darker, cloaked in white fire. What am I? She asked. The other Zara spoke without moving her lips. You are a door. A door to what? To everything. Suddenly shadows formed around. Her faces, voices, screaming, whispering, humans, Miralans, soldiers, children, all calling her name, begging, accusing, worshipping. Zara fell to her knees. Stop. You were not punished for loving a human, the voice echoed. You were punished because your love made you more. Back in the chamber, Zara sat up with a scream. The machines exploded. Jack rushed in. She looked at him, breathing hard, glowing faintly. You were right, she said. They didn't fear what I did, they feared what I could become. Jack knelt beside her. You're back? Yes, she whispered. But not for long. Serene pulled up a new scan. His eyes went wide. Her energy signature just pinged every long-range Empire sensor. They know where we are. Jack's voice dropped. How long? Maybe an hour. Zara stood, still weak but taller somehow, calmer. Then we don't run. Jack looked at her. What do you mean? We stop hiding. We can't fight them here. I'm not fighting to win, she said. I'm fighting to choose. Minutes later, a massive Empire fleet broke from hyperspace. Dozens of warships, hundreds of drones, dark and silent like wolves before the hunt. On the lead ship, General Kyera prepared the neural lance, a weapon designed not to kill Zara, but to trap her mind forever in a virtual prison. Fire only when I give the order, she said. And if she resists? Her second-in-command asked. Kara stared out the window. Then we burn the moon. On the surface, Jack loaded a small plasma rifle. He knew it wouldn't be enough, but he would stand beside her. Always. Zara stepped out into the cold moonlight. No armor, no weapon, just herself. But she wasn't afraid, because for the first time, she wasn't running from her power. She was walking toward it. The Empire fleet opened fire. Energy beams lit up the sky like lightning. Zara raised her hand, and the light bent around her. The beams shattered midair, torn apart by invisible force. Jack watched in awe. Even Serene stepped back. Zara whispered to the air. Not a scream, not a command, just a question. Are you watching? And somewhere, something answered. The sky changed color. The stars trembled, and in the blackness above, a giant ring of golden light opened like an eye. Jack fell to his knees. He couldn't look directly at it. What is that? He shouted. Zara closed her eyes. Genesis. On the Empire ship, alarms rang. Kara's mouth dropped open. She found it, she whispered. Found what? The source. The origin of life. The thing the ancients sealed away. The cloaked figure behind. Her stepped forward. We have to leave. Kara shook her head. No. If she opens it, then we are already dead. Zara hovered now, rising into the air. Not flying, ascending. Her body was pure light. Jack reached for her. Don't go, stay with me. She looked down at him. Her voice soft. I'm not leaving you, Jack. I'm making sure you have a place in what comes next. And then, everything exploded in white. A wave of light spread across the system. Ships vanished. The fleet disintegrated. But Jack remained untouched, kneeling alone beneath the stars. And then, darkness. A single moment later, Jack woke up. On grass. Under. A blue sky, birds flying above. He blinked, confused, and then a familiar voice. You refuse to let me die, it said. Jack turned. Zara stood there, smiling, real, alive, but different, older, wiser, stronger. So, I refuse to leave you. Hard override. They stood beneath a sky that shouldn't exist. Jack looked around, breathing slowly. The field was peaceful. Green grass, warm wind, clouds floating lazily above. But something was wrong. Too perfect. Too quiet. Zara stood a few steps away, arms crossed, eyes closed. Her silver-white hair danced with the breeze, but she didn't move. "Where are we?" Jack asked. "Not a place," she replied softly. "A choice." He stepped closer. "I saw the light, the ships, the ring in the sky. Did you destroy them?" "No," she said, finally turning toward him. "I moved them." "Moved them where?" Her eyes dimmed slightly. "Somewhere safe. Somewhere where they can't hurt anyone, or be hurt again." Jack looked down. "So, what is this? Some dream?" "No," she said. "This is Genesis." Meanwhile, in the real world, orbiting the remains of the dead moon, ships floated in silence. Debris drifted slowly through black space. Kara's fleet had vanished, but one ship survived, the rebel ship that Jack and Zara had once stolen. Now, it hovered alone, powerless, waiting. Inside, Seren stared at the empty command console. She opened the source, and he whispered, and she took Jack with her, but he wasn't sure if that was a rescue or a prison. In the Genesis field, Zara walked barefoot through the grass, her steps leaving trails of light. "This is what the ancients built," she said. "Not a weapon, not a god, just a second chance for anyone." Jack followed. "Then why does it feel like it's watching me?" "Because it is." "Why?" Zara stopped. She looked at him, the way she used to, before everything. "Because you're the reason I opened it." The wind changed. The sky shimmered. Suddenly, the world cracked. The trees melted into dust. The grass turned black, and from the center of the field, a figure rose, shaped like Zara, but twisted. Her face was the same. Her voice was not. "You think love makes you strong?" Jack stepped in front of the real Zara. "Who the hell are you?" "I am her, if she lets go. If she becomes what they made her for. Not a woman, not a rebel, not a lover, just a force." Zara whispered, "I fought you." The dark version nodded. "You did. But you're tired now, and your human is your weakness." Jack raised the alien blade, the one Zara had given him. "Then let me show you what weakness looks like," he said. The dark Zara smiled. "Then bleed for it." The fight that followed wasn't fair. Jack wasn't fast enough. The blade cut light, but the dark Zara was light, twisted and angry. She moved like smoke, hit like thunder. Jack hit the ground hard. Zara screamed his name. And that was when the field itself responded. Genesis, the force inside the place, pulsed. Time slowed. The dark Zara raised her hand. A spear of energy formed, aimed at Jack. Zara ran. She leapt in front of him and took the hit. The world shattered. Jack screamed. Zara collapsed, her body dimming. But as she fell, the sky caught fire. Not with flame, but with memory. A billion voices cried out. Not in pain, in joy. The power inside Zara didn't break. It spread. It chose. It changed. And the dark Zara vanished. Not destroyed. Forgiven. Jack held her. "Don't do this, don't leave me, not now." Her voice was faint. "I couldn't let it take you. I couldn't become something that forgets love," Jack whispered. "Then fight. Stay. Override it. Not with power. With us." Zara's hand moved slightly. She touched his chest and whispered one word. Override. Outside Genesis, the rebel ship shook. Seren gasped as the console lit up with wild signals. The energy that had vanished from the system returned. But it wasn't violent. It was warm. It wrapped the ship. And then, on the bridge, two figures appeared in a flash of white. Jack, Alive Zara, glowing, but fully herself. You made it, Saran said, stunned. Jack looked at her. No, she made it. Zara stepped forward, her voice calm. I am not a weapon. What are you then? Saran asked. Zara looked at Jack, and then out the window, to the stars. I'm a woman who remembers what love is. And somewhere deep in Empire territory, a message was received. It was short, encrypted, simple. She's back, and she's chosen. In the shadows of a massive alien citadel, the High Judge slammed his fist. Then we choose too. Choose what? Asked one of the commanders. He turned slowly, eyes glowing. War. One love to save them all. Space trembled, as if it knew a storm was coming. In the orbit of the neutral world Theros 6, rebel fleets, Empire dreadnoughts, and unaligned alien powers all pointed their ships toward the same target. One woman, Zara, the E. Girl who had once saved a human. The hybrid who unlocked Genesis, the living key to something older than any empire. Now they feared her. Now they wanted her. And Jack, he just wanted her safe. On the rebel flagship Sentinel, Zara stood alone in the observation chamber. The stars blinked in the black sea beyond the glass. Behind her, Jack entered quietly. They're mobilizing, he said. She didn't turn. No. You have a plan? No. He stepped beside her. Then we make one. Together. Zara finally looked at him. Her eyes were softer now, but deeper too, like they had seen the beginning of time and still chose to care about him. They think I'm going to destroy everything, she said. Are you? She shook her head. Not everything. What then? Only what makes us forget who we are. The council of the Miralan Empire met in secrecy. Holograms of war burned across the room. We cannot allow her to choose peace, said one general. If she refuses to become ours, she must be erased. Genesis is watching, said another. If we strike first, we may become the threat it sees. Then we'll let her think she has a choice, said the High Judge. And when she opens the door fully, we'll walk through it before her. Zara sat alone in her chamber. Jack entered with a small device, a pendant glowing faintly. What's this? She asked. Something you gave me long ago. I upgraded, and she smiled slightly. You and your gadgets. This one isn't for war, he said. It's a memory anchor. If you lose control again, it might bring you back. Zara took it, pressed it to her chest. The light synced with her heartbeat. Thank you, she said. He stepped closer. Zara, whatever happens tomorrow. She interrupted him with a kiss. Not because she was afraid, because she was sure. We finish this, she whispered. The next day, the sky above Theros 6 opened, not with weapons, but with light. Zara hovered in the center of it all, glowing like a second sun. Across the galaxy, thousands watched the broadcast. Humans, aliens, children, leaders, enemies. They waited for a god to speak. Instead, she told a story about pain, about love, about war, about Jack, and about a voice inside her that once wanted to erase everything. But she chose to remember instead. The High Judge activated the weapon, a god-killer beam, designed to shatter stars. Target, Zara. On board Sentinel, alarms rang. Jack ran to the window. No. He opened comms. Zara. It's a trap. They're going to fire. She looked toward the Empire ship, her voice calm. I know. Get out of there. No. Why? Zara closed her eyes and smiled. Because I'm not alone. She raised her hands and didn't fight. She forgave. The light from Genesis responded. The Empire fired. But the beam never reached her. It curved, bent, and shattered, turning to petals of golden energy that floated harmlessly around her, across. The fleet systems crashed, weapons shut down, ships powered off. Every soldier felt it. Memory not their own. The birth of the universe. The first time a child touched their mother's hand. The first laugh. The first kindness. The first sacrifice. the first love. Zara descended back to the ground, exhausted, shaking, human again. Jack ran to her, caught her, held her. "You did it," he said. She nodded, but her voice was faint. "I gave everything to the light. I'm fading." "No. No, no, no." She touched his face. "Remember me. I won't need to." "Why?" He lifted the pendant she wore. "Because this is you." She smiled. Heart override, complete. And then, she was gone. Jack didn't scream. He just sat there, with the pendant in his hand, and the stars above him, watching, quiet. Years later, peace returned. The empire collapsed. The Miralan people scattered. Genesis never spoke again. But in the heart of the rebuilt world, on a hill surrounded by trees and wind, stood a small statue of a girl reaching out her hand. Beneath it, the inscription, "She was punished for loving a human, but one man refused to let her die." In the end, love wasn't weakness. It was the reason the universe kept going. The end.